How strong would Lord Slug be if he survived the events of the movie? Let's say Lord Slug is creative with his powers, and as he gets a lucky shot and damages false Super Saiyan Goku and expands his body while his fist is inside him. That ends Goku, and he would then he would probably collect the Dragon Balls and ask for permanent youth, and then maybe immortality. But we're gonna say that he just wishes for permanent youth. He will never grow old, but he can live to be 100 and die in his youth. But you know what I mean. He's permanently young. He permanently has his power. After that, we go to the Frieza arc, which at this point in time, Goku's body was not ready to transform. So everybody's hunting for the Dragon Balls, and Lord Slug would probably return after the Namekians contact him for help. Lord Slug then employs his people, his new recruits, to introduce himself to Frieza. Lord Slug would then probably find Frieza, and he knows how powerful Frieza is, so he knows Frieza has an army on his beck and call. So Frieza would probably send the Ginyu Force to deal with King Cold, or not King Cold, Lord Slug beforehand. Lord Slug would then fake his death due to the fact that the Ginyu Force is just so strong. So the Namekians secretly found a way to hide him. So the Namekians introduced him to the Namekian Book of Legends. You know, the one that mentions Super Saiyan God. After that, Lord Slug finds a way to transform into the picture you see here, the Super Namekian God, which was inspired by Zarama, who, first trickled the first bit of the Namekians. After that, Lord Slug would take his assortment of people, since he knows he cannot defeat Frieza, period. Like, there's no way. So he takes them off world and takes them on a ship for their loyal servitude. They're not exactly evil, but this is a way for them to survive. Lord Slug would then try to unlock the Super Namekian God form, but instead his people would get tired of his leadership and just simply fuse with him to defeat Frieza after Lord Slug has quote unquote turned a new leaf. However, it is a farce. After that, Lord Slug would come back with unimaginable power, and he would sucker punch Frieza and eventually kill him while in his first form. Lord Slug is around maybe Super Saiyan Goku level when he gets back to Earth. So, Lord Slug then would continue on in the universe. Since Earth is basically without its heroes, Cell would not exactly be released yet, but the androids would, due to the fact that Jiro wants to still make the androids and whatnot, and the Red Ribbon Army has conquered the world. Lord Slug returns to Earth to use the Dragon Balls. However, he finds the Red Ribbon Army, and instead of fighting Cell and the androids and everything, he wants to make a deal with Dr. Gero. They'll work together, and they will eventually work to conquer the universe. Dr. Gero gives him an enhancement of being able to absorb and control energy. So basically, he's like a cyborg now, like an android, and he will supply them with spaceships and stuff like that, alien technology, which Dr. Gero is very keen on. So they join forces. Dr. Gero remains on Earth and leader of the Red Ribbon Army, and Lord Slug will go to space with the new android abilities and technology and start conquering worlds. Now, this is where Boo shows up, and this is where it gets weird. It's been a while, so Lord Slug has probably got close to tapping into his new true potential, or the Super Namekian God form, but he isn't quite there yet. He's been working with Gero a long time, and he's mastered the energy absorption. However, after a while, the androids, 17, 18, and 16, still under Dr. Gero's control because of the alien technology Lord Slug's been giving them, have all banded together. And by the time Babidi comes to Earth and the Kais come to Earth, the androids recognize them as a threat, and they don't kill them, but they kidnap the Kais, and they kill Babidi. But Slug, actually, before they kill Babidi, he interrogates Babidi and asks him, or demands him, to lend over the power to control Majins, or make himself a Majin. However, Babidi doesn't do that, and so Lord Slug, with the help of the androids, manages to kill Deborah. Babidi's still alive, but he is very weakened after Lord Slug keeps torturing him. They then begin to take him and they put him onto a machine. Lord Slug has been working with Dr. Gero to make the ultimate android cell, and now he has the blood of the Kais, the blood of Bobbity, and the powers and abilities, along with Lord Slug's DNA and all the original. Well, except for Frieza and King Cold, because they never made it to Earth. Speaking of King Cold, he will probably be around. Look for him, and Lord Slug will kill him off screen. But after that, we get to where Beerus would show up to Earth. Well, Beerus doesn't show up to Earth because there's no Saiyans around anymore. Vegeta would be the only Saiyan, and he wouldn't have grown. He wouldn't have got Super Saiyan because he isn't around in the story. So Vegeta is off-world, completely lost. However, Lord Slug, after hearing about Beerus, decides that the best thing to do would be to absorb all the Namekians and then wish them all back, as he is now the king of the people. Because this be like a loophole, he could infinitely absorb their power and then send them back, absorb their power and send them back, and still keep getting power. After that, Lord Slug would probably start building power, and Beerus would go back to sleep. However, after this, there's no Universe 6-7 tournament, no Zamasu, no TOP, because Goku doesn't do any of that. Moro would still wake up, but Lord Slug would try to make a deal with him, and he eventually poisons Moro and kills him after a weapons trade goes wrong. And Granola never happens because no, I don't like him. And so Lord Slug would probably just blow up that planet out of spite, honestly. But this is where we get into the good stuff. Lord Slug unlocks the Super Namekian God, which this is beyond anything in the manga or Super so far. This is completely new. Which his power is so immense that it's probably Super Saiyan God Goku level in the main timeline. But Beerus is woken up by this, and Lord Slug obviously battles him, but due to his regeneration and his giant form, he even masters his God form, and giant form and merges them together and condenses the giant form's power down to his base form, and keeps up with Beerus even better than Goku did. But Lord Slug would still lose, and Beerus would be like, well, I mean, you've done a lot with the universe, so I'm going to give you a helping hand up, and maybe I could teach you a few things. Lord Slug then takes a sucker move and turns down to his base form and uses an energy blade to slit Beerus' throat, which, no, he don't slit his throat. Beerus catches the blade and asks him, what are you doing? Lord Slug says he just needs to distract him, as after the blood of Cell has been absorbed, or the blood of the Kais have been absorbed, Dr. Gero and the androids then kill the Kais, which ends Beerus, which Lord Slug would then try to heal himself, which is part of his new Namekian God form. But this also brings a problem as Dr. Gero's ultimate cell creation is made, and he then turns on Lord Slug, which Lord Slug is not completely healed. We'll say he's about at 50% power. And all the androids, including this new perfect ultimate cell, attacks Lord Slug. And Lord Slug has no way to beat him. Like, there's no possible chance. And this new cell kills him, and then the Red Ribbon Army take over Lord Slug's empire and begin to rule the universe. And that's what would happen if Lord Slug survived.